Hey, this is Al Crouch with Indiana Lazy Bushman. Today we're going to be shooting the second part of Intro to Knife Making. Last time we were on here, we annealed the file. That's softening your steel first. We brought that up to roughly, it was probably around 1700 degrees as you saw the collar of it. What I wanted to tell you today was files, all the old files are made out of 1095 steel or W2 steel. That's what they made all the files out of, the old ones. Once again, do not buy new files because the process in which they're made, the interior is soft on it and you're going to have a junk knife. And I learned that from an engineer at a knife company. So let's cover the tools that we're going to use today. We're going to use the Sharpie and our layout. We're going to use a can of white enamel spray paint to mark our file, or you can buy some stuff called Dykem. Now this is not in the original can that it came in, but Dykem is used in metalworking and metal shops for marking steel. It comes in all different colors, orange, green, blue, red, but I've got some white here that I've used in the past. We're going to need a pair of clamps, and you're going to need to wear a dust mask of some sort, whether it's a 3M one like this or at least a paper dust mask like this, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be removing steel from that file, and those shavings you don't want to breathe into your lungs. We're also going to be using a prick punch. These are 3 different models of prick punches. Prick punches are used to guide your drill bit when you're going to drill your steel. Wherever you're going to put your pins at, you'll take this and put it on your steel and hit it with a hammer and make a prick on that steel, and that'll keep your drill bit from sliding all over on the steel. So now that we got our steel annealed, we're going to take it over to the grinder and we're going to start removing. I'm not going to remove all the file marks on the file. I'm going to leave some of them on there, but I'm going to go over there and clean it up over here on our belt sander. So let's get started.
Okay.
You also want to keep a bucket of water handy when you're grinding your knife, because what we're doing is we're doing stock removal by using this belt sander, and your file's going to heat up and you're going to have to keep it cool in that bucket of water. So let's get started. Now that we got our file cleaned up and we got it painted, it's ready to be marked. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to lay it on my template on my file, and we're going to mark it out with a Sharpie. Now, as you can see, we got our template laid out, ready for grinding and stock removal on it. The reason I use the Dykem and the paint is because when you're grinding on the stock removal, this pattern will still stay on there and it doesn't burn off when you're over there grinding on the grinder. So stay with me, we'll be right back. Now we're ready to take our prick punch and mark this out so that we can get our holes drilled for our pins. I've already got holes drilled in the template for me to guide my prick punch, so we're going to get that taken care of now. Okay, now as you can see what the prick punch did to the steel. It marked it for the drill bit to guide it so that way it won't slip off. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to drill these holes out for the pin before we even cut, because as I said again, it's safer to drill this out first before you have that profile, because I've seen too many guys on the internet with pictures of stitches in their finger because the drill bit caught this and it turned it into a lawnmower blade and cut their finger. So we're going to take it over to the vise, put it in the vise here, and another thing you're going to want to use, whether you use regular motor oil, cutting threading oil, this is regular threading oil that I use for the drill bit, so the drill bit doesn't heat up and end up burning it up. So once again, I'm going to tell you, with using this drill right here, if you're going to be using this drill and you don't have a drill press, remember to use that and try to control the speed on it, because you don't want to go super fast with it. You want it to be slow. So let's get started. Alright, now we're going to add the oil to where the prick punch is, and we're going to start drilling our holes out using the cobalt bit once again. It's always okay to be too generous with the oil. That ain't gonna hurt a darn thing on it. Try to keep your drill bit straight up and down when you're drilling with the drill if you ain't got a drill press. Alright, now as you can see, there's a pile of shavings that are starting to come up here. I always keep a brush handy to keep them out. And then add more oil to it. You never can use not use enough oil while you're doing this. So you see how slow I'm running that drill. So there you have it. There's our first hole in the knife handle. We got 5 more to do, and then we're ready to cut and start shaping this. Hey, welcome back. Now that we got our 6 pins drilled safely for our brass pins that we're going to use on our handle material, ready to go, we're going to make the cut here and shape this blade. Now, as I said before, if you don't have some type of a cutoff tool to cut this steel, we're going to use the edge of the grinder right here on the corner, and I'm going to grind this way on the edge until I got far enough through that I can snap this off. Then we'll begin shaping this blade, so stay tuned. Now that I got this ground all the way through, we're just going to snap that piece off. Boom, done. Alright, I'll get back to you when we get this shaped up in it a little bit more. Alright, now that we got this cut, we're ready to start shaping this before we put our edge on it. So let's get to it. Alright, now that we got the main shape of the blade, we're going to go over to our belt sander here and we're going to clean up our grind marks, and then we're ready to start putting our edge on the knife here. Now that we got the edges all cleaned up, we're ready to put our edge on the knife. What you want to do when you're putting the edge on the knife is keep yourself an even number, say 7 times this way, 7 times that way. This keeps you from over grinding on your edge one way or the other. So now we're ready to start doing that. It's out crouch again. Here's our blade that we just got finished. We're going to got a big fire belt here, and the wind's blowing quite hard, so we use an outside fire to temper this rather than the grill. What we're going to temper in is vegetable oil. I save all my old vegetable oil. It makes a cleaner finish on the knife, and it has a higher ignition than regular motor oil. You can use regular motor oil, but it leaves a dirty, nasty film on the blade. So I'm going to stick it to the fire before it gets tempering it. About probably roughly 1500 degrees. The tempering process is hardening the steel again, making the steel hard again, and we're going to freeze those molecules in that by dipping it in the vegetable oil. Now this is hardening and tempering it. Then after we're done with that, we will put it in the oven for what we call normalizing the steel. What that does is we're going to put it in at 500 degrees for 1 hour. That will make the molecules more even through the knife. That's called normalizing. That's your last step in tempering your blade. We've got the blade about out up to 1500 degrees. The color of it's going to be almost an orange. We want an orange red when we dip this into the vegetable oil. When I stabilize it, normalize it in the oven to stabilize it at 500 degrees, the temper is going to come out between 55 and 60 hardened Rockwell hardness. So let's pull it out and you guys can take a look and see what it looks like. I think I got enough shade here that you can see what the color looks like on it. Now, I'm going to let this finish cooling off before I put it in the oven. The other thing is, before you put it in the oven at 500 degrees, you want to take all this slag off of it. One of the ways you can do that is give it a water bath with vinegar. Leave it there, sit there overnight, and then clean it off with like a wet sandpaper, 600 grit or so, and clean the slag off that before you put it in the oven at 500 degrees. Well, there it is. I'll get back to you when we have it normalized. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe. Thank you.